if you let us put these 2 samples in here, when you take them out of outer space, and we just want you to test how they react, we'll contribute, 25 million to the cause. So some things, if you have the wherewithal to put it together, it's gonna draw its own money. That means,
We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce.
My city experiencing a transition from penny pinching, maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came a long way from baby jars in a project kitchen.
You prefer to be called on camera?
Just Reggie.
Okay.
Reggie.
Oh, you make sure of that too.
What about you?
Ricky. Yeah.
Ricky.
Organization is Renewal Undergrowth.
Renewal Undergrowth, right? Yep.
Renewal Undergrowth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got me a little couple of.
We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce.
My city experiencing a transition from penny pinching, maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came a long way from baby jars in a project kitchen.
A ton of them.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Fli-City Blackout. Want to welcome everybody to a great night. We got Brother Reggie here with us today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The great and one and only Brother Reggie. And we are talking about some great things today. Tune in, man. Y'all come on in the room, get closer. Don't be scared. If somebody else share it to them, like, share, subscribe, stick around with us.
Yes, sir.
All right, Brother Reggie.
Yes.
Man, it's good to have you in the building.
It's good to be here, my brother. Brother Ricky.
We're talking about renewal growth. We're talking about Juneteenth as well, but we're going to be talking about the financial literacy part.
Yes.
So, which is going on Monday, June 17th, 2024. I had the address.
At the Flushing Professional Suites on 3163 Flushing Road.
Michigan.
Yes, sir.
Yep, there you go. So if y'all didn't get that, that is at the Flushing Professional Suite at 3163 Flushing Road, Flint, Michigan. That's where it will be located at from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, we got to get a time. We want them there. Kind of get there early. You never know what you might see, or who you might see.
Yeah.
I know you're going to see us. So come on down. All right. So let's break off into this.
Okay.
All right. I got some couple questions for you.
Come on with it.
We're talking about renewal growth.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is
your sponsoring group. Yep.
Okay.
The nonprofit organization.
Okay.
Yeah. So Renewal Undergrowth And the acronym for Renewal Under Growth is RUG, R-U-G, RUG Inc. It is a story behind that. It was an old nickname from college, but the renewal part, we're in the season of rebirth, regrowth, renew, reconciliation. So renewal under, because if you look for something to properly grow, we believe in root teaching, root growth, go all the way to the root.
Yes, sir. So
we want to break it down to the root, properly plant and let it grow. And a lot of our growth is breakthrough. We breaking through some soils through this. And growth is what's needed in the socioeconomic community. I believe the new civil rights frontier is socioeconomics.
Yes, sir.
The protests, the rallies, they had a place, but we must take control of our communities. And I believe there's a great formula with nonprofit teaming up with for-profit to create wealth and solve problems.
Okay.
And on a micro level, because you have big foundations and big corporations, but small business is the lifeblood of job growth in this country, really. And micro organization, 5 people are under running it. And micro businesses, 5 people are under, are the realistic new startups in our community. We don't really start off, with a 25-man business or even a 25-person organization. It's usually on the micro level, not even small. So I believe there's a great formula there. And I want everybody to make sure that they check out, Renewal Under Growth website and see some targeted things that we're trying to do. But for the purpose of Juneteenth, we wanted to host the financial literacy.
I love that.
So we'll have a few financial institutions that'll be there. Tanae Turner, the community impact coordinator for Elga Credit Union. They'll be there. They'll be offering checking accounts. They'll be talking about some alternative programs that will really impact grassroots low-income people that's out there getting these payday loans.
That's us, y'all.
You know what I mean?
That's us.
And they actually have an alternative. They have a $1,000, up to $1,000 loan with no credit check. You open up an account, 8 transactions, and you can qualify for this micro payday lender style loan they have, but it don't come with all the interest, and you actually have 12 months to pay it back.
12 months, you can't beat that.
So sometimes when you just need a barber, a bang, or a bead, and you don't have to go to these lenders where you borrow $500 and you end up paying $500 in interest before you pay off the principal.
Because life be lifing.
Life be life.
You never know.
People need what they need. And so, the financial literacy under the banner of Juneteenth, we're going to talk about, Juneteenth and what it really means. That has to be discussed. When General John Granger and the boys came over to Galveston, Texas, when everybody else had got the word of the Emancipation Proclamation,
right? But
over at Galveston, folks were still under the whip. You understand me? In the chain. And they like, what's good? So, because them folks wasn't going to try to let them go. So 2 years later, the cavalry had to come in and be like, yo, you got to let these folks go.
They say they might.
And so really true emancipation occurred in 1865. And I'm careful to say emancipation instead of total freedom, because, the chains was taken off our body, the manacles was taken off our body, but they wasn't taken off our mind.
Yes, sir.
And we still, even to this day, was never invested back with that which we have been divested. Our names, our language, our culture, our God. So, there's still growth occurring to this day.
I love that.
Yeah, man.
I love that. Piggyback, nonprofit and for-profit.
Okay.
For, there's some of us that is getting into this and we're trying to understand. Can you explain a little bit what for-profit is and then what nonprofit is?
Absolutely. So when you think about going into business, most people that go into business or start a business, the business is to make revenue, to make money. It's not so much a charity. I'm going to sell Spacely Sprockets and Cogswell Cogs. I'm kind of dating myself, for money, for profit. So whether it's a LLC, whether it's a S Corp, a C Corp, or a sole proprietorship, a one-person business, you open it up for profit. You trying to go in business to make profit. So you're gonna have after your expenses, whatever you charge your clients, and you pay your bills, whatever's left, that's profit. You putting that in your pocket, you eating off of it. You done paid all your bills, you done paid your employees, and whatever's left over is profit. And you're gonna take some of that profit and either reinvest it back in the business to grow it, and you're gonna spend it however you want to as profit. Whereas a non-for-profit organization is more cause oriented. You might start a nonprofit organization like Renewal Undergrowth. There was a nonprofit in Flint called the Flint Restoration Group.
Okay.
And at the, like a year into the water crisis, this group formed as a nonprofit, and his goal was to raise money because the guy had developed a whole house water filtration system out of Holly, Michigan, that could clean your water, and the filtration system could clean itself, the Filter King 01, but it costed a lot of money. It was a whole house water filtration system. So it's cleaning water from the point that the water come into the house is purifying the water all throughout the house.
So washing clothes, your water.
Washing your clothes, water is
taking
good.
Baths,
yes, sir.
The whole
drinking, all that water from the point of entry. It's called point of entry whole house filtration system.
Okay.
It was around almost, $3,000 when it first came out. Then they got it down to 2,000 and something. So we formed the Flint Restoration Group. And we went not so much for grants, but we went after small business owners and medium-sized businesses. And we raised a couple $100,000 to get these filtration systems put in people's home. And when John Gore from the Pistons gave away $1 million to small businesses, he gave them $10,000 grants to City of Flint businesses. We got together with the Chamber of Commerce, who was a minister in it. We got together with Tracy Joseph, we being Legal Research One, and we help people fill out their paperwork with the caveat that they would go through the nonprofit organization in order to get their filtration system. So they paid money, but it was grant money. Or we raised money from the business community to buy these filtration systems to give them away. So it wasn't about making a profit.
Right.
It was about raising money for the cause. Now, when you raise money for the cause as a nonprofit, you are allowed to have a certain portion of the money that can pay somebody that's running your day-to-day operations. You can pay a secretary. You can pay an executive director. They can get a salary. But the profit from the nonprofit organization is designed to go towards the cause. It ain't for bonuses. You can't put it in your pocket. It's designed to go. But you can take a portion of the money you raise in a nonprofit and you can pay somebody. You can pay volunteers, per diems, and gratuities. You might pay for their gas, for them something to eat, for their time. And then you might the nonprofit could have employees that is paying a salary and benefits, but any profit that the nonprofit make goes back towards the cause.
But they're working. But they're working for the cause.
For the cause.
They getting paid because
absolutely.
Of the cause. So that makes perfect sense.
And a lot of our micro or super small nonprofits, it's really no money for anything other than the cause. You're gonna raise your money. And you might even be paying yourself back because you might have been paying rent for the nonprofit or paying for the phone bill and stuff like that. So when you do raise some money and you raise your money off of public fundraisers, if you're a public charity, you can get grant money. You can apply for grants and individual or corporate donations. Those are the four primary sources of how a nonprofit organization raises money, which is also called, when you form it, a nonprofit corporation. It's not designed for profit. And like a business, you can say, all right, I'm going to be a barber in any other business that's allowable under the law as a LLC. But as a nonprofit, whatever you say your cause is, that's what your nonprofit have to do. It is not an all-purpose clause for the nonprofit. So you have to be specific about what you're doing as a public charity.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why nonprofits get a lot of bad rep a lot of times, because people be saying, why are you not doing this? Or why are you not? Well, if it's not in my cause,
then I can't do it. You don't get to especially if you got issue 501c3 status from the IRS. In Michigan, it's only $20 to do articles of incorporation to form a nonprofit organization. You pay $20, get your tax ID number, get your bylaws and your corporate resolution. You in business as a nonprofit. But if you want that 501c3 status from the federal, if you think your nonprofit going to be making more than $50,000 a year, then you have to pay $475 to get that status. But if you think it's not going to make more than $50,000, then you pay $275, fill out a form 1023, and which is an online form. And in a couple, 3 months, you'll get that number back from the IRS that you are 501c3. And 501c3 is a designation for a nonprofit organization. And a lot of times, in order to get a grant or certain corporate donations, they want you to be a 501c3.
Okay.
And they can go on the IRS website and look you up and see if you've been granted 501c3 status, because they know you only going to operate a certain way. Plus, they know they can write that off on their taxes.
Okay.
So there's some nonprofits that are not 501c3, and there's some nonprofits that are 501c3. That's a federal designation.
So now, we're doing the cause and doing the work. Is that something that, like, should you be wanting to get to a 501, or should you kind of, if you're really doing the work?
Absolutely, because, you know, if you have any intentions on getting grant money or big donor money, then you want that 501c3 designation. Because a company, a corporation, they might not scrutinize you as much as a grant giver, somebody that's giving you a grant, like Walmart, Sam's Club, Target. You get 501c3, you can call up the local Walmart, the local Target, and say, hey, you know, we have a vocational training program. You know, you might call up Home Depot and say, we need y'all to loan, we want y'all to donate some materials so we can rehab this house. We got an on-the-job training program for these at-risk offenders or youth. They gonna come out with a contractor and learn basic carpentry, but we want y'all to donate some money. And how you get businesses to donate money to a nonprofit, in my opinion, one of the methods is you offer them add value, meaning you put them on your flyer.
Gotcha.
You stick a stake in the ground and say, you know, Home Depot and Ricky Nonprofit Group has the urban rehab project.
Yes,
and on your flyers and your campaign for that urban rehab, you tell them you're going to put their name on the flyer. If you do any radio, you're going to put their name on it. So they donating you the money, they get to write the money off, and they going to get ad value as well.
That
you going to get the money.
That market.
Because that's marketing for them. Okay.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
It's like, okay, that makes perfect sense. That clear. Because it's like, you know, even if 501 get a bad rep sometimes, it's like,
you're not helping me. Yeah.
So now, but kind of got to help yourself.
Kind of first. You have to help yourself.
You know, and kind of know a direction and really have a vision on what you're doing.
And let's talk about that, because see, charity as a principle, I'm taught, starts at home.
Yes, sir.
And then it's spread abroad. If my household is naked, hungry, and outdoors, and I got $200 in my pocket, and even from a spiritual perspective, I say the Lord told me give you the coat off my back. Well, that's a proverb. It's not necessarily literal. You better make sure that, see, because if I can take care of my basics, now I'm positioned to help you.
Yes, sir.
And we have to look at our nonprofits a little different, to me, especially our micro nonprofits. Let me give you an example. So say you have a business that you are You helping repair people credit.
Yes, yes,
You got a credit repair business, $99 a month. It's going to take on average 6 months doing it right to get a person's credit right. All right. So I form a nonprofit and I'm teaching financial literacy. So I'm having these seminars showing you how to properly save money, save your 5%. This is the language of how to get financed. This is what a bank is going to look for if they finance you for a car loan or for a house loan. And I'm just teaching it. I'm raising money, nickels and dimes. I got a coin box campaign. I'm doing a couple fundraisers. I'm partying for a purpose. I'm doing things. I might get a little grant and to have these seminars to show individuals and small businesses how to properly raise money. Now, I might say, all right, cool. I'll do a raffle and I raise, $10,000. I might say, okay, I'm gonna donate $5,000 to your for-profit, not another nonprofit. What we're gonna do is we're gonna sponsor, however, if it's 600 on average, let's use a different number. Let's say 600 times 10, that's 6,000. Okay. So I'm gonna sponsor 10 people to get their credit repaired through your for-profit. I raise the money from a nonprofit. Now we're gonna help you get your credit together. You don't have the money to get it together. So our nonprofit gonna write a check to Ricky's LLC that do credit repair for 6 people to you, and we sign the people up. We meet with you, we get one of them big checks and take a few pictures. And now you got money. Your for-profit, you have some money, you can eat a little bit, but you can fix these people credit and not worry about if they're going to pay you or not. So our small nonprofits have to team up with for-profits to solve problems and generate wealth. So we done helped 10 people get their credit together. And you also was able to make a barbel, bangle, and bead. And the extra $4,000 from our campaign, we're going to keep it going with the nonprofit. And if I have to pay a couple people that help volunteer with the nonprofit organization, I got a few nickels to do that. But we getting things done. And that's something that a really small nonprofit can do with a really small business. Now, you might sit on my nonprofit board of directors. So the 1023, when you fill that out to get your 501c3 status, one of the things it asks is, will any of your officers or board members do business with the nonprofit organization? I write yes. So because I disclosed that to the IRS and they granted me my 501c3 status, it is not a conflict of interest that you sit on the board of directors for my nonprofit and we raise money and we do some business with your for-profit, because you might have got the helped us get the credit together for our nonprofit to start qualifying for grants and stuff like that. We have to learn to make our nonprofits work with for-profits in order to solve problems and create wealth. And we can do it at the micro level.
Unifying on the profit level, not just
profit and nonprofit. So,
but that's what I'm saying, unifying them
both. Absolutely.
Where they both working,
where they both working,
your right hand and your left hand working together.
Working nonprofit should not be a vow of poverty. You don't being a nonprofit. Most people that's really community people for the cause, not most, I shouldn't say most, some are broke. But if you look at the United Way of Flint, just Jamie Gaskin, them over now, I believe that cat getting $110,000 a year salary to run the United Way. And they getting big grants and stuff like that. So we have to stop thinking small about the ability to do that. And one of the things we want to talk about at the Juneteenth financial literacy on January the 17th at the Flushing Professional Suite from 4 to 7 p.m. is these exact principles.
Yes.
And because in Kwanzaa, one of the principles of Kwanzaa, there's 7 principles called Nguzo Sabe. One of the principles is Ujamaa, which is cooperative economics. And that's where in the modern a nonprofit team up with the for-profit to solve problems and create wealth. Yeah, man. So, you know, we have to learn that socioeconomics is dealing with social problems and is dealing with economic problems at the same time. I'm telling you, Brother Ricky, socioeconomics is the new civil rights frontier. I'm telling you.
I understand. I see that all the way, though, because it's, like you said, this is something that's not taught. You don't turn on the TV and see this. You don't see, or should I say, not taught, but it's not in our face. You know, the things that they put in our face are distractions. Classes like this, like the handyman class, we're going to get to that too.
Okay.
You're going to see me in that class, so y'all better come on down, man. We got to start taking advantage of these opportunities, man. These are great opportunities, and if we don't take advantage of them, believe me, somebody is.
Yes, sir.
So there's no empty seats. Somebody's going to be in that seat. Why not you?
Yes, sir.
You can't fail if you don't try. Trying, like you got to start somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So through every fail, it's a lesson. So don't be scared to fail.
Well, I'm taught that success is failure turned inside out. You know, it's success. Success is failure turned inside out. On the road to success, I remember when I was a telemarketer coming up through the ranks, and the cat that was training me, he used to tell me, hey, smile and dial. No is one step closer to yes. So I knew I had to go through a certain amount of no's in order to get a yes. So I'm trying to run through that phone, and he'd say, just complete your pitch. And I would be running through my sales pitch, and I'm talking to somebody, they really don't have the time, or they really not that interested. Well, I remember this is the worst one. I'm kind of ashamed of this when a lady was holding her baby, and she was listening to me, and I heard boom, and the baby fell. And I said, she said, oh, my baby fell. I said, ma'am, that's a very good point. And I continued on with my pitch. My objection to anything you would say to me is, that's a very good point. And then I continue on with my pitch. And if you let me complete my pitch 9 times out of 10, I was going to close the deal. So, and that was kind of extreme.
But no,
but the point is that to piggyback on what you're saying, success is failure turned inside out. We can't be afraid to fail. And many of us have wonderful ideals for business, wonderful ideals for organization, but we are stuck on go. We stuck on go. We can't get off of go. And you know, I'm taught that if a thought played over and over and over again in your mind turns into an ideal, an ideal played over and over and over again turns into a vision. And without a vision, men perish. So we have to start to now learn how to execute. And part of what Renewal Under Growth, the nonprofit, is doing is, you know, we have several programs. And one of them, as you stated, is the vocational training program. We believe that there's programs out here, and we bottled up one to offer basic carpentry skills. We want to teach you how to use your hands so you can throw up some drywall.
Yes, sir.
So you can pull the floor up down to the subflooring, so you can understand these basics. And more so than that is another program I was telling you about. We got some small contractors. I know a brother, Derek Hatter at DNN Development. He's based out of the Flushing Professional Suite. Okay. He recently got contracts with the city of Flint to help rehab houses. He recently got a contract down in Battle Creek to help rehab houses. So the brother's on the move. He worked with Elamine and Maid Institute. I mean, good brothers. And then you have an army of handymen, cats who got the skills. They know how to put a floor down. They know how to fix your roof, but they not licensed. Exactly. They not a contractor. So what we're going to do under Renewal Under Growth, we say, hey, form your LLC, form your S corporation or C corporation, get some insurance, form it as a handyman business. Now, team up with the small contractor. Because if you go up under the contractor, you can bid a job. The contractor might get an administrative fee out of your money and let you do the project that he's really subcontracting under you. So all these houses in Flint that have to be rehabbed and floors put in, if the general regular contractors come in, they charging rates that our people can't afford. Exactly. But if Pookie, Ray Ray, and Junebug now, who already know how to fix the floor and do that stuff, come through the vocational training rehab program, get a certificate, form their own a handyman business, so they're not necessarily working for the man, and then team up with the small contractor who got the license that they can bid the job through. Now houses in Flint can be fixed up at a reasonable price. And everybody's making a little money. So we have to create our own infrastructure to develop housing in Flint. Because if you get a house from the land bank, but it need to be fixed up, where you gonna go?
Exactly.
So we saying let's create a program where the handyman can go under a contractor.
That's
because you calling him to come fix your house up anyway. He don't have no license. He can't pull no permit. So if anything mess up, it's like, oh well. But
just
here,
the bidding pool, how it opens the bidding pool up to people that would never have that chance, that opportunity.
So y'all go to www.renewalundergrowth.org and check out our website. Check out the programs that we are pulling online, because if we don't start using our nonprofits to team up with for-profits, Ricky, to solve our own problems, you know, Dewan always say, help ain't coming.
Man.
So we got to create our own help.
But help is coming.
So that we can say
help
help is on the way. Help is on the way.
That's the thing.
Help is on
We're
the way.
looking for help in the wrong way, in the wrong people.
Yeah.
Instead of going to the people with the knowledge. Like instead of coming out on Monday, June 17th at 4 p.m., you know, and getting the knowledge, that's where the help is at. You got to help yourself.
Yeah.
And the only way you can help yourself is to educate yourself. And if you already got the skills,
and like I'm looking at one of the persons making a comment, brother, is that Dan or Don? You know, he's right. We not reinventing the wheel.
Right.
These models exist. We just trying to be stakeholders in the model on the micro level. We not always going looking to run to these agencies that's getting tore off money to come and bring these programs. We want to develop how to create these programs among ourselves, and then maybe we'll apply for the agency money. So is not to, and the good news is this pie is big enough. It is an expanding pie, and we baking our own. So we can still eat off the pies that's being offered from the grant community. One of my concerns with grant, and Dewan will tell you, I'm not a fan of grants as more people are, because the grant giver requires impact statements and all of those, and as he should. There's nothing wrong with accountability, but sometimes I be concerned, like, you know, I had an experience with some people through the Service Corps of Retired Executives. SCORE is a nonprofit arm of the SBA.
Okay.
And a partner of mine had a good idea. I was a young buck. This was years ago, because I'm about 100. And he gave his ideal on how to do this one marketing, and it was a very good ideal. And his ideal popped up over in California, and it got funded on steroids. And a person that worked for the company in California said they had got that ideal. I was in Ohio at the time, from this guy out of Ohio. So some of these groups pick the brain, they clearinghouses for ideals, and it might get shipped over on another side of the country to their homeboys. Now, I'm not saying that to be cynical.
No,
I'm saying that because it happens. And I'm also saying that to say, look, we need on the micro level, because I like micro business and micro organization. On the micro level, we need to start coming up with solutions, because that'll address our solutions locally.
Right.
And then it can grow into something bigger. But we have to be stakeholders in our own growth. We have to be stakeholders in our own change.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. I think we should have an army of small organizations.
That makes sense.
And an army of small businesses to get together and address our issues. Nonprofit and for-profit. We can team up, make it happen.
Because all you hear is they're buying up the north side, they're buying up this, they're buying up that. Well, if we're not buying it and it's for sale, somebody's going to buy it.
That's right.
But if we got the skill and the know-how and unity on all forces, once we start working in that, you know, ramification, it's different. Because now it's like, once you get the house, yeah, I can call the right person.
Yeah.
That's going to give me the right handyman.
Yeah.
That's going, you know, and and they're insured.
Yes.
As well. Like that.
Yes.
That's the key thing. Like a lot of people, you can work on it all day long, but what happens if you get hurt?
What happens if you get hurt? There's a cat, Peter Gibbs. He went to Central State University. Brother, he worked for the SBA for 18 years in a bonding program. When he got there, their bonding program was about $750 million. When he left, it was over 1.9 billion, or I think it might even been 100 billion and 9 billion. So this brother started his own bonding company when he left because he knew all of the players at the highest level. And bro, in 2 years, he was a $12 million company. In his third year, he'd merged with Merchants Bonding out of Iowa, one of the fourth largest bonding companies in the country, on a $40 million deal. This brother.
Beautiful.
And he bond in all 50 states. He bonding people in Michigan. And because he has the ability to underwrite, you know, if we network with him, bonding is so hard for contractors to get. But here we have somebody that's underwriting at the highest levels. So who you know do matter. But oftentimes, man, we can't be afraid to start at where we are.
Exactly.
Booker T. Washington, drop your buckets where you are. Start where you at with whatever ideal or skill set you have. I'm a firm believer in creating a business out of your skill set.
Yes, sir.
You know, you create a business out of what you like to do and what your skill set, and you're not going to be mad or have a problem getting up, going to work every day because you're doing something you like to do. Yeah, man. So I'm really excited about the Juneteenth literacy fair over at the Flushing Professional Suites, because we're going to have vendors that offer money, offer financing. Financing is the lifeblood of business growth. And we have to learn how to position our micro businesses and even organizations to attract financing. Correct. Because we should be using OPM like everybody else, other people's money. I know y'all thought I was going to say OPP, but OPM. so OPM is what we need to get into that market. And we need to be able to get into that market at the prime lending rate, not at the predatory lending rate, because there's secondary lenders, hard money lenders. But you will be surprised how undifficult it is to take your little small business. If you paying your bills on time and you paying your people and yourself on time, and you're offering a product or service, you're supposed to be able to parlay that history into credit separate from yourself personally, and then be able to go start getting credit for your business. And just like you have the credit bureaus for individuals, you have Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business, and a few other groups that are the credit agencies for businesses. And you want to develop what is called a Paydex or a credit rating for your business. I mean, I was in business for years, didn't know nothing about that. Now my little business, Legal Research One, have a Paydex score of over 80. That's almost like having an 800 personal credit score. So, and it's a little micro business, not even 5 employees, permanent. And then I use contractors so I can do projects and hire people as needed.
That's very smart.
You know, I mean, you know, there's so many of us that can operate as local hope dealers. You know, that's what I love about Brother Dewan. He's a local hope dealer.
Man.
And so, you know, the hope is not pie in the sky. The hope is action and activity. So we want to talk about how to get your personal credit together and how to get your business credit together under the banner of financial literacy and freedom for Juneteenth. Freedom for what? Freedom to get out to the ghetto. No sellout. So we want freedom, bro. We want true freedom, economic freedom.
We deserve it.
Economic freedom.
We deserve it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. We deserve it. And that's what I mean. Everybody, I know everybody on there listening got a business idea in their mind right now.
Yeah.
So this should be marked on your calendar. It should have already been marked on your calendar. But just in case it wasn't, it definitely should. You got something to do at 4 p.m. to 7. We might, you know, run over a little bit, let y'all out by 8. No, but nah, man, we definitely need to bomb rush this class, man. I mean, because we still got more stuff that we could be talking about, like some of the service, the urban environment issue resources, urban blight issues, Explain that a little bit.
So one of the things that the ARPA funds is was supposed to was, help put money in the city for people to be able to help.
Yes.
And a lot of those funds are targeted towards organizations or businesses more so than individuals. A lot of individuals, with my ear to the ground, they want money to fix up their houses and things like that. And the fact of the matter is, when you look at public monies that come in the form of grants, sometimes they don't even want to give money to no individual.
Right. Yes,
they even want to give that money to organizations or businesses or groups to either create something like create more jobs, create a physical structure, fund an existing program. They don't want to give you money for your house. They saying we are a democracy based off of laissez-faire economics. You're supposed to raise your own money to fix up your house. We ain't finna. Why Joe fixed his house up?
Man.
So what we gonna take public funds for and give you to fix your house or get your own house fixed up?
Man.
You got to understand that those are the dynamics surrounding that type of money, because if you understand those are the dynamics, you don't trip off of it.
Right. Now,
But Saginaw made it hard on the yard because they ARPA money. They gave individual homeowners money to help fix their house up. So that's something your city council could make that decision to do. I'm gonna tell you something. I was talking with a couple people about that ARPA money, and I'm like, you know what? If y'all would have just took 50 million of the ARPA money and paid everybody that got a water bill, paid their water bill for the next 2 years, or gave them $2,000. If they had a back bill, it'd pay off some of their $2,000. If they was on time, it would give them a water credit. If you would have took 50 million and paid every household in the city of Flint water bill, guess what? It was just a shifting on the balance sheet, because that same 50 million would have now shifted over to the general fund of the city of Flint. They would have still had that money to now spend on other services, but guess who would have benefited? Everybody in Flint paying the water bill.
Yes, because
this stuff ain't even rocket science. I don't even understand how our politicians be thinking, man. It's just some basic stuff.
Just to hold it. They don't hold it.
And so, but you know what? We have to give our idea. I actually talked to Neely about that idea, and he ended up doing a $300 one. I'm like, man, but you should have did a bigger one. But he did something.
He did something, and we'll give you credit on that. But
so urban blight is more like, all right, let's go back to the motto. Say you a contractor. Say DeJuan a handyman. All right. Say I'm a nonprofit organization. Now watch this. DeJuan go get 5 houses. You go get 5 houses. 2 or 3 other people go get 5 houses. Y'all got these 5 houses from the land bank for the low. You don't have the money to fix them up, right? But you a contractor, you can fix them up. So what my nonprofit do is I say, okay, let me go to JP O'Sullivan at the airport.
Okay.
The beer and wine distributor, JP O'Sullivan, Ryan Distributing Company out on Lapeer, the Fambinio brothers based out of Saginaw Bay City that got on Lapeer. Now, these 3 beer and wine distributors, JP O'Sullivan, the Fambinio brothers, and Ryan Distributors, every morning between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m., they long trucks is dropping off 22 ounces and 40 ounces at the corner stores. So they making 17, 22, $18 million a year just distributing beer and wine. They don't even make the beer and wine. They just bottle it up in their warehouse, put it on trucks, and drop it off at Habib's and them spot in Flint. And we buying it. So if I step to them as a nonprofit and I say, hey, I got 5 small, whether you a business or an individual, about 25 homes that we want to rehab, and we calling it the Urban Blight Project.
Gotcha.
We done came up with 20 at-risk youth ex-offenders that we gonna pay for 20 hours a week. $10 or 20 or 15 or $20 an hour to go through a on-the-job training program with you as the contractor, showing them how to bust the walls down to the studs, pull the floor up to the subflooring. Every one of these houses from the land bank, we're going to bust all of the drywall down to the studs or plaster. We're going to pull the floors up to the subflooring. We're pulling up all toilets and sinks. We will replace all of that. The nonprofit step in the Home Depot. Hey, let me get them materials up off you, because we spend a lot of money with y'all, and we asking JP O'Sullivan to donate the money to finance the labor rate we're gonna pay these people on OJT, and to finance the material costs. Why would they do that? They would do that, number one, because I'm a 501c3 and they can write the money off. We can stick a stake in the ground. They can get ad value by saying, renewal under growth, JPO Sullivan, Ryan Distributing, and the Fambino brothers present the Urban Blight Project. They getting positive recognition for helping rehab some houses in the community, with micro organizations and micro businesses and individuals benefiting. I mean, skills are being learned. You making a Bible bangle a bead for teaching the skills. Right. All of us who got the houses are getting them fixed up for free. And the end game is we going to let people come into those houses on a rent to own. We trying to make homeowners. Yes, sir. Rent with me, pay rent for 5 years or 6 years. And at the end of that period, I'm going to sign the house over to you. Yes, sir. So we have to have those type of plans where our micro businesses and our micro organizations step to the people in the community that make money off of us, but they don't put no money back in. Right. Them beer and wine distributors is waxing rich, selling us death, but we don't never ask them. So when we ask them to contribute back, we're not stepping in them as beggars. Right. We doing this under the concept of parity and reciprocity. You got something for me and benefited. You need to give something back so I can benefit. Yes, your livelihood, you making off of the hood, dropping off beer and wine, but you taking all your money back to wherever you live. You ain't putting it back where you draw it out of. But under parity and reciprocity, contributing back to the area that you draw money out of, that's just equity. That's just the right thing to do. So let me get that up off you. And if you don't, oh, now we don't do that. Okay, we fade to the back. Black Lives Matter. Take about 40, 50 people up there. Rah, rah, rah. Shits come by. You drawing all this money off of us and you ain't getting nothing. I guarantee you before the day out, they'll be calling, hey, Reg, about that program you was talking about. Let's make it happen. So we have to step to people under the concept of parity and reciprocity and say, you drawing money out of the community and you benefiting. So it's just right that you put some back. Yes. We just have to be organized. Unity on all. We just have to be organized. On all fronts. You get the house. Let's step to. We can make this happen. This what I just said ain't rocket science. Y'all, we need this class. I hope y'all listening. We need this class. Like, and I'm speaking me as well. Like, we need. Like, I mean, man, if we could just clone your brain and just put it on what channel these kids be watching now, TikTok, and we could, we need this on everything, because. Like, for real, like this is solving and having solution. This is what it looks like. Well, we need to be solution based. This is what it looks like. It's not enough to just pop off and talk about the problem. You know what I mean? And all of that. At some point or another, through our travels, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't fall down from heaven. I come up from a hell of a condition. But through those travels, am I going to spend the rest of my life being a person chronically complaining about the problem, or am I going to be a part of the solution? Amen. And in being part of the solution, I absolutely, positively, you understand me, want to make a barbel, bangle, a bead along the way. Sir. I don't believe I have to take a vow of poverty, but these ideals I just gave, the ideals is free. I don't care who implement them. Man. Somebody need to implement them. So we see by what we say, but more so the action is in the do. Yes, sir. So I want you to know what I'm talking to you about. There's little cells planted all around the city that's actually doing what I'm saying right now. We have to learn how to move in silence and incubate our ideals. See, women get pregnant with the body, but men get pregnant with the mind. So if we take our ideals and incubate them, develop them in cells so that when they come to light, they can stay in the light. But if you constantly saying what you're going to do with no pathway to do it, you might as well be throwing seed on cement. So trust me when I tell you, part of what's evolving is already in motion, my brother.
You got to clip that, okay. We need that up there. Like that gotta be up there.
Yes, sir.
What we looking like on time?
We about there on time.
We almost okay, man.
We can wrap it up.
Like, hey, man, look. That's what I'm saying. So and let me find my. I know one other thing that I wanted to get y'all guys excited about too. I seen the raffle about the car. The raffles, the fundraising raffles, man. Y'all get involved. Let's get involved.
So a lot of times when you talk about a public raffle, what most people don't know is you have to go through the same agency as the lottery. You have to go through the Michigan Gaming Commission. Really? And the first time I did a public raffle was in Ohio, in Columbus, with this group, Consumer Helping Hands. And they actually took about $35,000 in the 90s, and they bought a Chevy Malibu. They paid for it cash, but they had about a $14,000 marketing campaign where they dropped flyers in 9 by 16 clear door hanger bags, 8.5 by 11 flyers. They broke the city up into sections of 500, targeted some places and dropped the flyers out. They found corner stores. They had lottery machines in it, used all of the Krogers, they customer service centers. They had 10,000 raffle tickets that they raffled up at $10 a ticket and raffled off a car. It raised $100,000. They took the $30,000 they spent, set it aside so they could do it again. And they was raising money for their own organization causes. We at Renewal Under Growth is in that process right now. We almost through with all of our processes to be able to actually do the deal. And we're in negotiations with 4 local car dealers, but we're going to ask them to give us a break on the price. Whatever they paid for, we tell them we'll pay you that in cash, but we'll give you a write-off for the rest of it. And we are going to, our philosophy is self-funding. So we're not so much looking for grants. We're looking for ways to raise money to fund our own causes. So Win a Car raffle is part of our funding source. So we've identified some corner stores in the city, Paradise, a few other places that have lottery machines. We've identified the Krogers, the Myers, the Walmart. We're in negotiation with these places. So we drop them tickets. A black accounting firm, Days Tax and Accounting, is going to certify our tickets as legit. We do our press conference and our ad campaign. We're going to be dropping the car off at the places where you can buy the tickets so you can see it's real. Yes, sir. And we intend on raffling off about 10,000 raffle tickets at $15 a ticket. And we're going to raise money for our own causes. We tired of begging and asking people to do for us what we need to be doing for ourselves.
They always say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps or whatever.
Amen, brother. Amen. Yeah. So, I kind of threw that out there because, and dude, how you worried about duplication? No, I'm not worried about duplication. Duplication is duplication. Whoever want to do what they do, that's what they going to do. And we here for that. But if the pie ain't big enough, let's just bake another one.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's just bake another one. Don't worry about it. The pie big enough. Man. Just bake another one. I just want the ingredients, and we bake another pie, man, and serve it that way, man. We got. Hey, look, this financial literacy and wrap up. We want y'all to come to it. We're gonna have some of the local stakeholders offering some bank accounts. But we're going to be talking about the basics because we believe that the foundation is the basics. If you know how to properly form your business, if you know how to properly form your organization, then that's your start. That's your foundation. And then if you know the basics of financial literacy, how to get funding, you can't form a business and expect it to be funded without no history. So either somebody going to sponsor your history or your personal credit going to be good enough to finance credit for the business, or you're going to start where you are and you're going to grow at the pace of business and fund yourself. Grow at the pace of business. And, you know, when you grow at the pace of business, and Flushing Professional Suites has about 14 businesses located out of there. It's one majority business. Well, really, Legal Research One is a so-called minority business. We just have a majority client. Our biggest client is the Water Crisis Law Firm. But we got beauty barbershops there. We got credit repair group. We got home health care. We got contractors. We got bookkeepers. I mean, so it's a hub of economic activity. And I'm glad that the majority of the businesses are Black businesses.
Man.
And so, you know, we just created a place and a space, and we got a few suites still left out to rent. Yes, Gabby. And Renewal Undergrowth is over on Beecher Road at the Davidson Development Group building, which we own that too. And we got a couple Black businesses over there doing their thing.
Amen.
And we looking to buy another building as we speak. So look, let's do this, y'all. We don't have to keep believing that you have to start on 10. Start wherever you are.
Yes, sir.
Let's learn the basics, because one thing I've learned about our people, especially whether it's Tiger Woods or Serena and Venus, if all we have to do is learn the rules. Once we know the rules, we always
game over.
So we looking to do that. And I appreciate this platform because I know this platform is tied into a few other great platforms, Out of the Mud, Flint After Dark, and y'all been doing some excellent work, having some real information on there. And whatever we might have in conflict, we might have 2 or 3 things in conflict as individuals or people, but we have 4 or 5 things in common. And I just pray that we learn to stand on what we have in common versus always tripping off of what we have in conflict as a way forward. Let's stand on what we have in common. You know, what we have in conflict, all right, cool. That's your thing, this mine. Let's keep it pushing. But if the unity is based on what we have in common, the unity ain't based on what we have in conflict.
Man.
So let's learn to stand on what we have in conflict versus being disunified on. Let's stand on what we have in common versus being disunified on what we have in conflict. The conflict's gonna always be there. What about what we have in common? Let's stand on that. Let's move on that. That ain't even about being friends. That's called mutual interest.
Yes,
nobody do business absent of mutual interest.
Man.
We say it on the street level like this: what's in it for me? That's really not a bad question. What's in it for you? That's a real question. You know,
what's in it for me?
But there is a part of life and things where you have to sometimes do some things on the string. You have to do it just because it need to be done, not so much for what you can get out of it. Some of us can make money just staying laser focused on what we're doing for self, but we can also make money helping others as well.
Yes, sir.
So that's what this is about. And anything that I say or do personally that's offensive that I said or do, please charge it to my head. Anything that is good, I charge to the creator. So Amen. I appreciate, again, this wonderful platform. And I hope y'all come out to all of the events that's going on the Juneteenth celebration. This one is going to be a really powerful one because we got to, Ricky, remember Mother Deloney.
Yes.
She recently passed.
Yes. And
I would be remiss if I didn't come on the show speaking about Juneteenth and didn't give honor and praise to that woman.
Man.
You know, I tried to show my love and flowers for her while she was here. Right. And now that she's gone, I think a lot of times we don't come together except in death. So let's come together, you all, and really operate under the spirit of Juneteenth this year, especially in commemoration and honor of Mother Deloney. Yes. Beautiful sister.
Amen to that. Amen. What else need to be said, y'all? Hey, like, man.
They're asking about where it is. So we'll give a rundown.
So once again, the financial Juneteenth is going to be on Monday, June 17th, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at 3163 Flushing Road. That's the Flushing Professional Suites. That brown Noah's Ark looking building down the street from a Golden Gate restaurant on the same side. We're going to command the top parking lot. It's 2 parking lots, a lower one and an upper one. We're going to convert the whole parking lot. We're going to have a tent up. We're going to have vendors out selling their vendor stuff. We have a DJ. I believe we're going to have a food truck too. And we're going to be talking about financial literacy, the basics of financial literacy, the basics of how to properly form your business, the basics of how to establish proper credit. And we making some of the stakeholders we've convinced to come and offer things like free checking accounts, you know, and some access to monies without credit, just by a little bit of a relationship establishment with them. So yeah, y'all, financial literacy, business, small business finance, really micro business finance and micro business organizations. Well, let's talk about how to properly develop them. Many of y'all have excellent ideas that just need to be have a path to express. So let's form the businesses, let's form the organizations, and y'all do y'all thing. Yes, sir.
Amen.
June
17th,
4 to 7 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Flushing Professional Suites, 3163 Flushing Road. Yes.
Be there.
Yes.
Or you are a square. No, I'm just playing. You gotta be there though, man. We need this. We definitely do. Like the city needs this. More educated, more just honesty, and more this. I was about to say that, but I don't want to get myself in trouble.
Well, y'all show keep it raw. Y'all show keep it real. Ain't no need to, you know.
You know, I be trying to pull us back a little bit. No, man, but this is stuff that we need. I truly appreciate you, because there's a lot of stuff that you just said that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean,
man, you know, did you know most millionaires never graduated from college?
Right.
They just did it. And what they do now is that I remember Ted Turner came and spoke at the HBCU I went to, Central State, and he said, you know, he hadn't graduated from college at that point. He didn't have a degree. He get a lot of honorary degrees, but he was saying, oh yeah, I just did it, and I hired the college folks to come work for me.
Man.
So don't let the lack of a degree or a lack of this or that stop you. Just start where you are. Find out the basics. Once you find out the basics and the fundamentals of a thing, you move off of that.
I love that.
Once you learn the basics, you move off the basics, man, and watch yourself grow.
I love that.
Yeah, man.
I love that. I know I'm what they say, that memory bank, man. I'm loading it up. I'm telling you. Is every time you cha-ching, that's in my brain. Cha-ching, come on, more knowledge. Cha-ching.
Yeah.
That, I mean, because you can't pay for this kind of stuff, man.
Yeah.
So to get it free, we got to take advantage of it.
And that's what we want to do under Juneteenth. Under that banner, we should be always not just, you know, celebrating, absent of learning something.
Exactly, learning.
Let's learn something. Let's
Take
party
something
for
away.
a purpose.
Yes.
Yeah,
Party
man.
for a purpose. I love
Party
that.
for a purpose.
We got enough partying for unpurposed reasons going on in the city.
Ain't
So
nothing wrong
let's
with
party
partying.
for a purpose.
8 hours of labor, 8 hour refreshment, 8 hour worship, you know, 24-hour gauge, common rules. So let's just work it out. Yeah.
You want to give your address?
Yeah.
Beecher Road.
So 3340 Beecher Road at the Davidson Development Group building is the location for Renewal Under Growth. This is the nonprofit that's sponsoring the Financial Literacy Day. Renewal Under Growth is sponsoring it. That nonprofit, and you know, y'all go to www.renewalundergrowth.org, and you can see our website and see what we about. And, you know, as chairman of the board of directors of this micro nonprofit organization, we on the move, we on the rise, and we definitely about socioeconomics. Our philosophy, like that of Legal Research One, is many hands make for light work.
Man, look, that was my closing right there. Because when I first saw it, you can see it. It's a vision that's clear to see.
Yes, sir.
So I love how you lay it out, how, you know, especially the way you explain it. You explain it to where even I don't want to say the dumbest, but the people like me can understand, should I say. You know what I mean? People that's not so, like, this is not something that we were taught on a day-to-day basis.
That's unlearn and relearn.
So
whether you know it or not, we all have our own contribution to make. You know, everybody had their own contribution to make. I don't hate on, frown on, or trip on nobody's contribution. Their contribution is theirs.
Yes, sir.
My contribution is mine. But together, that's how you know, your little bit, my little bit, it can change stuff.
Make a lot.
You know, and we have to use our hands and our mind. If you listen to the programs we talk about using our hands, but we also talking about using our minds, and we talking about organizing. The great revolution, I'm gonna end on this one for real.
I got you.
Kwame Ture, aka Stokely Carmichael, a student nonviolent coordinating committee out of the 60s, later the All African Revolutionary Party, one of the greatest revolutionaries and organizers that we produced. I had a chance to meet that brother on Ohio State campus. I drove from Central State to meet him there. He has a statement about organizing. He says, organization is a great power in directing the affairs of a people towards a given goal. To properly develop the desires that are uppermost, we must first concentrate through some system or method, and there is none better than organization. So let's organize. Business, let's organize. Organization, let's organize. That's all.
And on that, Brother Reggie.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure.
Brother Ricky.
Pleasure.
Yes, sir.
This won't be the last. So I see y'all. We will definitely all be in attendance. It's gonna be a great time. We're gonna have fun, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Like it's around the corner.
And we're gonna learn something.
And it's great when you're learning.
Yes, sir.
Like, I think that's what we gotta do too. We gotta make learning cool again.
We gotta make learning cool again.
You know? So
yes, sir.
I hope y'all learned something. We gonna Dewan, we gonna Wakanda out.
Wakanda out. All right.
You know, in the great
We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce.
My city experiencing a transition from